Lots technology learning. Today we are going to be talking about Windows computers, tips and tricks. So specifically today we are talking about how to get your computer working if you had a power surge. The first way to do this is, let's say you had a power surge and your computer wasn't turning on at all. So you've tried to power it on and off with the power button, and it won't turn on. You start messing with the monitor, you start trying to use different keys to get it on, you even start messing with the power cord. But still, it just won't turn on. No matter what you do, what you try, it just won't turn on. So, what you want to do to be able to get your computer on in these cases is called a cold boot to your computer. To do so, you want to hold the power button down for 20 to 30 seconds. Let it set, like all the electricity discharge from your computer, and then turn it back on. Usually, what you'll see is a different screen. It might go to a BIOS screen or a boot startup screen, or you'll see the little operating system window screen doing its circle, and typically it will turn on. If you do this and your computer does not turn on, then you have, I'm sorry, totally killed your computer. And you will probably need to, if you want to get access to anything on your computer, you will need to take the hard drive off, take the hard drive out, of your computer, get it put into a different system, or use a external system like a memory device where you can store put your hard drive into to access any critical files or pictures or documents or videos that you might have. The second case scenario is, let's say you're on your computer and suddenly you get the blue screen of death. No matter what you try, you can't turn your computer off, you can't press any buttons, you just get the sad face blue screen of death. Typically, that means there is an operating system corruption, or you have a hardware failure in your computer. And either case, those error codes that pop up, they give you specific information onto what's happening exactly and where that's at. So you want to pay close attention to those and fix it. But in most cases, you're able to do a cold boot like we talked about before. Hold the power button down on your desktop or laptop for 20 to 30 seconds. It will completely, totally turn your computer off. Wait another 20, 30 seconds to let all the electricity discharge from your computer, and then turn your computer on. And normally, your computer will turn on. And the final tip and trick for today is when you get a scareware attack. So in this case, let's say you go to a specific website and you click on a link you weren't supposed to. A lot of these instances occur with elderly people, but they also happen to all sorts of people. Could be young kids, could be teenagers in colleges, clicking on links their friends send them. So sometimes this does happen on the internet. And in these cases, typically the computer locks up and they try to scare you in calling a number for social engineering. Whatever you do, do not call the number, okay? I can't express that enough. They're trying to solicit financial data from you. They're trying to solicit um, ads to you potentially, or just private confidential information that's for you or your family members, okay? So no matter what, don't call the number. You always call and vet your sources, always, if this were to happen. But this does happen. There are a couple of options. The first option is like we did before in the other two cases, is to power off your computer. You hold the power button for 20, 30 seconds, and you power that back on. The other case is to hold all three of these buttons one at a time. First is the CTRL button, and when you're holding that, next hold the Alt button, and then when you're holding that as well, follow that up with the Delete button. It will bring a dialog screen box up, and you'll want to click on the Task Manager. In the Task Manager, you will go to the browser and end that task. What typically happens that I've seen in a lot of these cases is the browser, it remembers what you've last went to, and most browsers. And web browsers like Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, they all do these things so you can retrieve whatever you looked at last. But if you are looking at scareware last, it's just going to lock it back up again. So you got to be really mindful when your computer starts up to go ahead and close out that web browser, whatever you're using. Because if you don't, it will lock your computer back up if you do the cold boot and you hit on the browser. So, with that in mind, the final thing we are talking about in the use case is something I didn't mention. In the use case, what I would recommend you guys do is to power cycle your computer only, this is the last result, only if you see an issue you can't solve with a regular restart or by hitting the power button. Sometimes you have to, if you have a laptop and it has a removable battery or a desktop, you actually have to unplug the power source, take the panel off on the desktop, and actually unplug it there and on the wall. Other cases with laptops, you have to take the internal battery out. You might have to unscrew things. It can be a little hectic. But don't forget to try the cold boot to start off as a last result. If it doesn't resolve it, you could always take your computer apart, but that's like a final resort, okay? And that concludes our Windows computers tips and tricks for cold booting your computer. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I will see you next Saturday, and you will get notifications a day early. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on all my social media to get the latest updates on everything. And as always, you guys have a fantastic weekend and a great day.